problem with that one?
Am I going crazy? I mean, there wasn't even a lesson in there. He went straight to the murder.
I love that story. Me too.
You just described a very homicidal, graphic attack, and you don't think that's going to scar the kids for the rest of their life?
It's in the Bible.
Yes, but there is a time and a place for these kids to learn these things when it is appropriate. And what was the whole blood squirting out of the head thing?
I wanted the kids to be able to picture it.
You wanted the kids to picture it?
Makes sense. Listen, I still have one more clip, and it's a really good one.
I don't know. Josh, what do you think?
I would love to see another clip.
Of course you would.
Yes!
So the whole land of Egypt was covered in darkness for 3 days. So the next and final plague was called the Passover. But what I like to call it is the elimination of the firstborn. Moses instructed all of God's people to take a lamb, sacrifice it, and smear the blood all over the doorway. Sacrifice means murder the animal. Can you say murder? Good! Then the Lord passed through Egypt, killing every firstborn in each household that did not have blood on the door. There were screams. Absolute terror. The streets ran with blood. Fear. Yeah. Well, that's it for this week. Make sure to tune in next week when we learn about Lot and his family camping trip. See you later!
Okay, that is enough.
Oh, what now?
Oh, I don't know, Carl. Let's start off with you having all the kids say murder all at the same time.
Well, I think vocabulary is very important. It is important.
And Lot and his family camping trip, what was that all about?
Oh, you don't know? Well, Lot and his 2 daughters, they went...
Stop. I know the story. And also know that's nowhere near appropriate to share with elementary students, okay? I cannot be the only one that thinks this.
I don't know, Andy. Carl and Keith, was it? Keith. Carl and Keith worked really hard on this project. And who knows? Kids might love the realness of it. Yes. Thank you.
Okay, fine. I have a feeling this is a bad call, but...
I honestly can't wait to see what else you come up with. Thanks. I'm actually working on a VBS program focusing on one disciple. Really? Which one? Judas. It's going to be awesome. That's going to be so good. Probably. Really good. Super interesting. That's quite the choice of a disciple to choose. Can't wait. You're going to love it, Andy. Trust me. Keith does give me nightmares sometimes. Just a heads up.
Video. There was one more part. No, really? Oh, hey, how we doing? That's so good. That's the loudest y'all been in like since last year. So sad, bro. Are y'all ready? You know what tonight is? Inside Out. It's not Inside Out. Okay, everybody. Yes, it's Inside Out. That's what it says up there. Inside Out. But this is the best night of the week. Come on.
Of the week.
Who thinks it's the best night of the week? Yes. Everybody, this is our Inside Out host, Chase. Yay! And I am your boy, the Siege. Oh yeah, Siege, CJ. And yeah, I really am excited to be here. I'm tired, but I chugged 2 Mountain Dews before I got up here, so I should be good for tonight. What y'all think? A little bit. I'm going to crash in like 20 minutes, but I should make it for tonight ends.
I think so.
Chase, are we playing a game?
I think we are playing a game.
Are we playing? Hey, who wants to play a game? Anybody want? Well, the good news is everyone's playing it. Everyone stand up for me, please. Wait. Who didn't get a cup from David or Chase? All right.
David, can you grab the cups?
Everybody, we're going to shame David. Shame. All right, so, Chase, what is the name of our game for today?
The name of the game is Flip Out.
Flip Out. All right.
His opinion.
We said flip out. It didn't say you're going to flip a quarter. All right. So how do we play this game, Chase? Everyone here has to play, so let's make sure everyone gets a cup. But, okay, I would prefer you play because it helps. All right, Chase, explain the game for me, please, sir.
David. All right, so the name of the game, everybody's going to have a cup with a coin in it. We're going to start out in small groups. Everybody's going to compete with the people in small groups.
Did everyone hear that? And let me get 2 claps and a woo if you hear me. There we go. All right, that was kind of lame, but that's okay. All right. So does everyone understand the game? One person flips the coin. The other person calls it out. Whoever wins, as in if they miss the call or they get it right, then you move on and you collect the other person's coin and put it in your cup. Does that make sense? All right, so the winner should end up with all the pennies in the room. Now, if all the cups were handed out, that's 50 pennies. And you know how much that is? 50 cents. That is 50 cents, and that can buy you a soda in the cafe. Woo! All right, so everyone, find your opponent for the first round. They should ideally be in your small group.
Yeah, try to make them in your small group.
Be in your small group if you don't have enough. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What's up, Alex? Okay. One person. Cyrus and Gray, come up here for me. All right, so we can explain the game as in detailed as possible. Eyes on me. All right. So one person from the opponent will flip the coin. You two decide. Okay? Cyrus, as he's preparing to flip the coin, you call out whether it's going to be heads or tails.
But it needs to be mid-air. You can't do it
So
before.
this round
While
doesn't
it's
count.
in the air, you call it out.
So go ahead.
Heads.
He says heads. It is tails, so Gray wins. And Gray collects Cyrus's coin and then finds another opponent who won. If you lost, too bad. Sit down. All right, everyone go back in.
So, you're not out, by the way. You're
Give
not
back
out.
his coin.
You two against each other again.
You want to start up here? I don't care. Hey, can we get... Actually, we can't get some hype music because of copyright. Do 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 Boom, boom, boom. All right, if you have won, start getting closer to the front of the stage. Keep getting close to the front. Keep coming up. You got to keep
coming
playing.
up.
Keep playing.
We gotta see who the winners are.
Somebody once told me the world was gonna roll me. I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed. She was looking at her thumb with her finger and her thumb in the shape of an L on her forehead. Well, the years start coming and they don't stop coming. Back to the rules and they hit the ground running. Did it make sense not to live for fun? Your brain gets smart, but your head gets dumb. So much to do, so much to see. So what's wrong with making the backseat? You never know if you don't go, or what? Well, you never shine if you don't glow. Hey now, you're a rock star. Get your game on, go play. Hey now, you're a rock star. Get the show on, get paid. Oh, let's go. Yeah, keep playing, keep playing, keep playing if you still have coins.
It's a cool place, and they say it gets cool.
If you're gonna talk. Keep going until you run out of coins. All right, so is it just this crew left? Who's still playing? If you still have coins, you're still playing. Come on up. Come on up and keep playing. Keep playing. Keep playing. Keep playing.
We'll put you up against whoever wins one of these rounds. Alright, so now you two are going to go against each other now. Have you got to give him? Did you win?
Yeah, we made a wager to give 1 coin. Just one.
Did you just wager?
Yeah.
No, you don't wager.
wager.
You give up all your coins if you lose. What?
Not you two.
Yes.
Against each other.
That would
He'll
be
say
the
it mid-air.
proper.
So you'll flip it and he'll say it.
Yes, you should. Okay. How many people we got left?
You lost.
Who's left? Raise your hand if you're left.
All right, here we go.
All right. If you've lost,
Final
sit
two?
down, please. Wait, is it these last? Wait, who won? Are we done? Wait, is it these last two? All right, come on
on.
up. Come on up. Make sure. Get up here. Get up here. Get on up here. Get on up here on stage for
Come on
me.
stage.
All right. Real quick, before we start this last round, I need your name, grade, and favorite food.
I'm Lydia. I'm in 7th grade, and I like ice cream.
Her name's Lydia. She's in 7th grade. And she likes ice cream. Okay.
My name is
did I say-
Jeremiah. I like ice cream.
What's your favorite food?
Ice cream.
What flavor?
Strawberry.
Strawberry. Okay, hold on. I have to ask Lydia as well. What's her favorite flavor? Favorite flavor of ice cream?
Chocolate.
Chocolate. Okay. All right. For this one, we're gonna do best out of 3. So you have to win 2 rounds. Okay. Go ahead and stand separated. Stand separated. Okay. Who's flipping the coin? Who's flipping the coin? All right, Lydia, you're flipping the coin. Ready? 3, 2, 1. What is it?
What'd you call?
What
Heads
is
or
it?
Tails? Heads or tails?
Heads.
Heads. Heads.
What'd you call? It's heads. Okay, round 1 for Jeremiah.
point.
Okay. All right. What? I said 2 out of 3. I said it. Everyone heard me say it, right? Okay. All right, Jeremiah, you won that round, so I want you to flip the coin this time. All right. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Oh, it's 1 and 1. Okay. I need y'all to cheer on these people. Come on. Come on, get loud.
All right, you've got to
Lydia, you won this round. You did a flip. Call it now.
say it loud and proud. Heads or tails?
Heads. He calls heads. It's tails. Lydia wins. All right. So Lydia, you win the 50. Wait, is it 50 cents? We'll call it 50 cents. She gets a free soda. All right. And now, Chase, what time is it?
I think it's time that we get our worship on.
What? No, it's time for announcements.
It is time for announcements.
Our first announcement. What's happening this Sunday? Thank you.
This Sunday?
What's happening this Sunday, Chase?
We got tiebreaker this Sunday.
We got a tiebreaker this Sunday in Hopkinsville. Be at Tiebreaker Water Park from 7 to 9. I'm not supposed to say this. Luther's going to be mad at me. Disregard the $7 per person. What? I will pay more. So, be there where? At what time? What day? All right. And Chase, what else we got going on? Cafe.
Cafe.
Woo. All right. The new friends thing. New friends. If you are new with us, guess what? You get a $5 credit to our cafe. That includes pizza, soda, water's free no matter what, but I won't count it this time. So, it's okay. It's all good, bro. And now, let's get our worship team up here real quick. Worship team, come on up. It's okay. I got you next time. That's my fault. All right? Stepping up first, the man who dresses as good as a school teacher. Because he's a school teacher.
Hello.
This is my dad, Senor Carlos. On the keys, we have the musical genius, Carla Charate, who also thinks that band is a sport, but we'll talk about that later. Oh, here we go. Next up, we have Mr. That's my dad, Streeter. Andrew Streeter! All right. Next up, on the guitar back here, Quiet Grace Parker Ramsey! And last but not least, go ahead, Chase, take it, because I'm about to lose my voice.
Last but not least, Miss Autumn.
Chase.
Are you guys ready to worship? Come on, let's stand up.
When all I see is a battle, you see my victory. When all I see is a mountain, you see a mountain. Unless I walk through the shadow, your love surrounds me. There's nothing to fear now, for I am safe. So when I fight on my knees, with my hands lifted high. Oh God, the battle belongs to you, and every fear I lay at your feet. I'll sing through the night. Oh God, the battle belongs to you. And if you are for me, who can be against me? For Jesus, there's nothing impossible. All I see are the ashes, you see the beauty. Thank you, God. When all I see is the cross, God, you see the empty tomb. So when I fight on my knees, with my hands lifted high. Oh God, the battle belongs to you, and every fear I lay at your feet. I'll sing through the night. Oh God, the battle belongs to you. An almighty fortress, you go before us. Nothing can stand against the power of our God. You shine in the shadows, you win every battle. Nothing can stand against the power of our God. An almighty fortress, you go before us. Nothing can stand against the power of our God. You shine in the shadows, you win every battle. Nothing can stand against the power of our God. An almighty fortress, you go before us. Nothing can stand against the power of our God. You shine in the shadows, you win every battle. Nothing can stand against the power of our God. So when I fight on my knees, with my hands lifted high. Oh belongs to you. Every fear I lay at your feet. I'll sing through the night. Oh God, the battle belongs to you. Oh God, the battle belongs to you.
I wanna be close to you. I wanna be close to you. There's nothing in this world that compares to all you are. In the arms of the Father, there is love like no other. He who formed all things, He offers love to me. Where you go, we will follow. Through the dark, through the narrow, and in all we do, we are bound to you. I wanna be close to you. I wanna be close to you. There's nothing in this world that compares to all you are. We are found in your presence, seeking you in your full worship you. My life surrendered, my heart abandoned for more of you.
Before I spoke a word, you were singing over me. And you have been so, so good to me. Before I took a breath, you breathed your life in me. And you have been so, so kind to me. And oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Oh, it chases me down, fights till I'm found, leaves the 99. I couldn't earn it, and I don't deserve it, still you give yourself away. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Yeah, yeah, yeah. When I was your foe, still your love fought for me. And you have been so, so good to me. When I felt no worth, you paid it all for me. And you have been so, so kind to me. And oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Oh, it chases me down, fights till I'm found, leaves the 99. And I couldn't earn it, and I don't deserve it, till you give yourself away. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Yeah.
No shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. There's no wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. No shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. There's no wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. No shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. No wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me.
surpasses any understanding. Sometimes we don't understand how you move in your lives, how much you loved us. And sometimes we fight with ourselves, thinking, how can God love me? And you give us the answer in Jesus. Because you loved us so much that you gave your only one son for our sins. So we don't have to fight our battles alone. So you can be with us at any time of the day, in any situation, in the good times and in the bad times. You are there, Father. And for that I praise you. And for that I thank you. And I ask you, Father, then in the mighty name of Jesus, that you street in a mighty way to speak into our lives. Move in a mighty way in her life and just speak to us. It is in Jesus' powerful name that I pray. Amen.
Life can be unpredictable, full of change. Some good, some not so good, and some complicated. But one thing is constant. One thing never changes.
Oh, hey y'all. I feel like that's extra bright tonight. Is that just me? All right. How we doing? Can I tell you how excited I am to see so many of you in this room? Like, maybe it's just that we're closer together tonight. I don't know, but it just seems like you guys are packing the house, and I love it. So question, how many of you like change? All right, that's more hands than I was expecting. All right. I hate change. Hate it. Okay? But you probably change more than you actually realize. So I'm going to tell you my first kind of memory of change. Okay? When I was 7 years old, and I could tell you all the vivid details because I still remember it. But when I was 7 years old, I found out that my parents were getting a divorce. And, they'd been struggling for a bit, and, as a kid, you don't really think much of it. But that year, it all came to an end. And, even though I kind of knew something was going on, when it happened, it felt like the bottom just dropped out, right? And so if you've been through something like that, you know. And so, like I said, as a kid, you don't really pay much attention to your parents' relationship, right? Like, that's not... Like, as a kindergartner, first grader, second grader, like, that's not on the top of your list of priorities. Like, But it didn't really take me long to notice that things were definitely changing in my family, okay? Like, big changes over the next just couple months after this announcement. And so every time something else changed, or every time I realized that something else was different, it's like that wound or that hurt that I felt was magnified even more. So, it went from being in a 2-parent home with my siblings, with both of them having jobs, we had more money, we had, just more togetherness, to being in a single-parent home. My parents, obviously, they got separate houses. And so being in a single-parent home, that meant less money. It meant less time together, less eating out, less of stuff. And, there's things that looked a lot different, like holidays, okay? Christmas. All of a sudden, it wasn't Christmas morning we woke up and we were all together as a family and opening presents. It turned into we had to have 2 separate Christmases. Or, my birthday, when my sister and I, we have birthdays very close to each other, so we always had joint parties. But it turned into having 2 different parties. And while that may sound good, okay, because, you're thinking, double the presents, right? But all I wanted was for my family to be back together. And so every time I had to leave one Christmas party to go to the other family member's Christmas party, it just killed me. even at such a young age. And so, you know, I just hated how everything was different. And I'm going to be honest here, and I'm pretty sure I've said this up here before, so it shouldn't be a surprise. But I'm the youngest of 3 kids, and I was teensy bit spoiled. Just a little bit. Like, I basically got anything I wanted whenever I wanted it. And that all changed when this divorce happened because we didn't have as much, right? And so I remember asking my mom, like, why can't things just go back to the way they were? But that wasn't happening. A divorce just doesn't stop, okay? But as I look back on it now, many years later, I can see that some good things actually came out of it. Okay? So I can see that it helped me as a person because I became less spoiled, less materialistic, less, desiring for things that I didn't really need, and just more content with my life. Okay? And all I knew before the divorce was that we had each other. And after, it's like we didn't. We were all separated. And in the middle, in that time in the middle before and the after, that's that period of change that we've all experienced. Okay? And that's what this series, Even If, is about, is change. So whether you like it or not, you all have experienced change in your life. All of you are middle school and high schoolers, right? So if you think about it, you change all day, every day. You change classes multiple times a day, right? You have different teachers than you had last year. You have different friends than you've had in the past. You've seen people graduate and leave. You've seen new freshmen come in or 6th graders come in, and your body has changed. Your friend groups have changed. Your thoughts and your views and your beliefs on things have changed. So even if it's not something huge like a divorce, there's still a lot of change going on in your life. And so there are a few things that are always true about change. Okay? So the first one is that some change is awesome. Okay? So bear with me for a second because you're probably thinking I'm crazy. But when this change is something that you want, you like it, right? Like if you've been sitting on the bench on the basketball team all season and all of a sudden the coach says, hey, you're up. That's a good change. If you're single for a long time and all of a sudden this girl or this guy that you've been interested in decides that they want to go on a date with you, good change, right? You go get your hair cut. Okay? And it ends up turning out really good and you get lots of attention. Good change, right? So can we agree that some change is good? Okay, all right. But it's not always that way. Some change is awful. Not going to lie to you, okay? Divorce in my life was awful. There's been other changes that are awful. And usually what happens is when the change is difficult, you don't like it. That's when it seems horrible to us. So when a friend moves away or switches schools, when you go through a breakup, not a good change, okay? You go get that haircut and it doesn't turn out so great. Not a good change, right? So some changes are just bad. And nobody really likes that kind of change. It's just uncomfortable. The next thing that's true or not true about change is that, like it or not, it's going to happen. You cannot go through life without change. So it's just simply part of life, especially when you're in a school age, as you guys all are. Okay, there's no guarantee that the way the things were before are going to stay that way. In fact, I can almost guarantee you it's the opposite. The way life is right now is going to completely change when you're out of school. And what we have to realize is that in between, change happens. And whether you like it, you love it, you hate it, you numb it, you ignore it, whatever it is, it's a reality. You can't escape it. Can't escape it. The last thing we know that is true about change is that when it comes, everyone is affected. Okay? So if we think for just a minute about my story about my parents getting divorced, that wasn't just a change for my parents. Okay? It wasn't just a change for me. I mean, there was my parents. There was me, my sister, my brother. There were cousins who would always come over to my house. There were aunts and uncles who were always getting together. There was this extended family, these friend groups that were friends with my parents that now almost had to pick sides of who they were going to be friends with. It was like a ripple effect. When a change happens, it affects so many people outside of the people that are directly involved. The same thing if you think about when a teacher switches schools or if a friend moves away. That's a huge change for them, but that affects you too. So just remember there's always a ripple effect there. And as uncomfortable as it is, there is good news with change, okay? And so something we're going to talk about today is kind of a game changer when it comes to the way that we think about change. Because change isn't new. It's something that people have been struggling with forever, okay? As we always do, we go back to the Bible, okay? We look at people from the Bible who have experienced things that we're experiencing today. And change is something that they experienced. So when God chose writers to tell his story, he picked people that you're going to see they have struggled with the idea of change. Okay? They've gone through loss, they've gone through breakups, they've gone through heartaches, okay? Uncertainty, insecurity, all of these things, you can find them all in the Bible. And the big thing is, a lot of times what we do and what they did is we wrestle with the idea of how we can trust God when our lives seem to be this series of unwanted and unexpected changes. But over and over again, the writers in the Bible who are dealing with so much change, they kept coming back to the same truth. And while many of them had a lot of helpful things to say about dealing with change, we're just going to look at just one single verse from the Bible today. If you remember nothing else, I want you just to remember this one single verse. But before we do that, I want to talk just a little bit. It's a verse in Hebrews. And Hebrews is a letter that was written to Jewish people who had decided to become Christians. Okay? So this letter is written to these Christian Jewish people living in Jerusalem. And these people, because they have chosen to become Christians and to follow Christ, they are facing a lot of persecution. So that means that, because of their religion, they are treated with hostility. They're threatened to be killed for their religious beliefs. Their families being threatened. Something that we don't necessarily deal with today, they were dealing with big time then. And so a lot of this book of Hebrews is focused on who Jesus is and why following him was not only a good idea, but the best idea. So we're going to pick up in the very last chapter where the author is kind of wrapping up this letter to these people. And he gives us this one verse, and it is Hebrews 13:8. And this is so simple. You guys are going to be able to memorize this, I promise. Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. Say it with me. Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. Think you can remember that one? I hope so. All right, so to put it even more plainly, if you can't remember that, Jesus never changes. Period. Everything in life is going to change, but not God. So what he was before this situation in your life, whether it was loving, kind, whether he was cheering for you, whether he was just, whether he was generous, he's still going to be that way after this change. And when the world is marked by constant change, whether it's good or bad, especially the last couple of years, y'all, we've had so many changes, okay? And no matter what you feel about that, the best thing to remember is that God doesn't change, even if everything else does. It means when everything around us feels unstable, Jesus isn't. When everything around us feels inconsistent, Jesus isn't. And when everyone around us seems different or like they can't understand, Jesus does. So why is that so important? Why does that matter? Let me give it to you in another sense, okay? I want you to think about, and I know you've all seen one of these, one of those really, really, really big trees, okay? Like you couldn't even wrap your arms around it. The trunk is so big, okay? Maybe there's one in your yard. Maybe you see one as you're driving around or while you're on the bus, okay? But we've all kind of seen one of these huge trees. Very sturdy, tons of branches, big leaves, okay? You got an image in your mind? A couple of heads. Okay, all right. So what keeps that tree in the ground? Roots, okay? That tree is secured into the ground and held in place because of its roots. So every season the weather changes, okay? When the wind blows, the ice comes, the rain falls, the sun beams down, there's fog all over the place, there's a drought. This tree isn't moved. With all that change happening around it, it would be easy to think that the tree would just give up and fall down. But it doesn't, because it's rooted into place. And that's what an unchanging God does for us. He keeps us rooted, stable. When we're focused on Him, the one who never changes, we're able to stay steady and secure, like a tree that's unshakable, unbreakable, when everything around us feels unsteady and insecure. God doesn't change when everything else does. Because everything changes, except for God. Listen carefully, though, because when we're rooted in God and experiencing change, it doesn't mean that all of a sudden we're just happy, right? It doesn't mean that change is going to go away. We're not going to have any difficult times coming. Instead, it looks like knowing the truth, knowing that God's commitment to you never changes. And experiencing that disappointment or that difficulty at the same time. We can know God's love and purpose and presence doesn't change, and that He can use any change, even the bad ones, for good, because He is always faithful. And that never changes. So no matter what happens in our life, no matter what we're facing, we can count on the one who never changes. We can be rooted in God. When nothing else feels stable, God is. When we have a trust in God that never changes, whatever difficult change comes, we're going to have a peace that we can experience it anyway. Here's a very simple phrase that I'd love for you to remember. It's our big idea tonight, which I've already kind of stated. God doesn't change even if. Fill in the blank. God doesn't change even if. He's the solid, unmovable ground on which we can root our lives. And that's why no matter what change is happening around us, we can remain secure when our eyes are fixed on Him. It was true when the writer of Hebrews said it way back then, and it's still true today. Because Jesus never changes. So even if things are unpredictable or out of your control, God's ability to hold the whole world never changes. Even if things will never be the same because of death or injury or health issues, God's availability to hear your prayers never changes. Even if what lies ahead of you is exciting. Remember those good changes? Okay? The amount of God's love for you never changes. If what lies ahead is new territory, if you're switching schools, if you're changing to, a different team, if you're starting a new job, God's promise to be with you through it all never changes. And even if what lies ahead is scary, As a 7-year-old girl, hearing that my parents were getting divorced, I was terrified, y'all. God's reliability to steady you never changes. So what I want you to do is I want you to just do one thing, okay? I want you to remember. I want you to remember a time that God was faithful to you in the past. Remember a time that you felt God's love in your life. Remember a time you saw God's goodness. Maybe it was coming to church. Maybe it was finding your small group. Maybe it was at camp. Maybe it was when your mom was really sick and a whole ton of people came to help your family with meals and driving kids places. If God was faithful or committed to you in that circumstance or season of your life, then you can stay rooted in the belief that he's going to be faithful again forever. Wouldn't it be nice to have something unchangeable that you can focus on and trust, even when things around you change? Because I don't know about you, my life in the last month or so has changed a lot. And there have been days where I just didn't think I could do it anymore. I am exhausted. I am overwhelmed. I am stressed. And you know, sometimes, just being completely honest, I forget to reach out to God. And in preparing for tonight and in reading this message, it really just kind of struck a chord with me. Because in the midst of all this chaos of my life, God is still there. He's still holding me up. He's the reason I'm here tonight. God doesn't change, even if. That's an incredible thing to remember. He was the same before, and he'll be the same after. So as we head to group tonight, I want you to remember that this is one of the reasons why we meet together on Wednesday nights. Middle of the week, when you are in the thick of school, when you're stressed out, when you need someone to talk to, this is what small groups are for. I want you to encourage each other to remember the things that are true about God. Remember those times when it was good, when God got you through a situation, when you were able to feel his love for you. Use your group time tonight to just encourage each other to remember the things like God never changes. Jesus never changes. Pray with me. Lord, I'm so thankful to be standing here tonight, to be able to share your word, not only with everyone in this room, but to be reminded of it myself. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to be here, and I pray that you will just help everyone to reach out to you, no matter what they're struggling with, no matter what changes they're going through, no matter how overwhelmed and stressful life feels right now. They would remember that they are rooted in you. As we head to group tonight, I pray that they would just get encouragement from each other. Realize they're not alone in this. Not only do they have each other, but they have you. We are so thankful for you and your constant love for us. In your name, amen. Head to group.